We're live now. Okay, so good evening everyone. Thanks for joining and congrats to those that just finished their exams and welcome back after like a very long while now. So like we agreed on before, so we'll be diving into the command line that's from this week proper. So we'll continue from where Toby stopped the last time. So I know that Toby did sort of a brief introduction to the command line towards the end of the last class. So we'll be diving into it proper. So we'll basically just be doing an overview of what the command line is, and then probably get to practice some of the commands that I've listed down within the slide. So the command line. So just like what we've known for maybe before now, or maybe what Toby has even taught us, or maybe what we even know even before even heading to this course. So the command line is like sort of the foundational computing environment for bioinformatics, and we can think of it as a translator between us and our computers, and it matters a lot because for you to do advanced bioinformatics, it's not something that you can just do with your basic graphical user interface and all of that. So it matters a lot. And considering the fact that in bioinformatics we deal with huge data sets and the likes, the command line is like kind of the only way that we can be able to maybe effectively analyze those data sets and then run tools to do various tasks. So unlike the GUIs that we know that are normally clickable with interfaces, for the bioinformatics tools that we get to encounter like going forward in this course, they mostly run on the shell. So if you look at my screen now, you can see sort of a black image attached. So this is just like my own personal, that's a screenshot of my own shell that's viewed via my terminal. So that is basically that. So why do we use the shell or the command line? So like I said before, like we used to run like different bioinformatics tools that we know, just like our genome assemblers, our sequence aligners, and many other stuff. And to also help us maybe even have a sneak peek into our huge data sets and the likes. And then as we get to advance along the line, we'll see how we can use some of the commands that would learn to build pipelines and workflows and chain them together so that our computing processes can be done step by step. Yeah, so it's actually a very powerful stuff. And even beyond bioinformatics, wherever you are in computer science or in tech, whether cloud computing and the like the Unix command line is like still one of the most important skill that one needs to know. So, like for me now, for example, if I should advise someone to start a journey in tech or anything, I still believe that like starting with the Unix command line is still one of the best, maybe the best starting points before moving to other programming languages. So, just like other programming languages that we know, you can also automate repetitive tasks with on the command line and run analysis on remote servers and the likes. So that's about it for now. So let's move on. Slide. Okay. People want to join the call. I wish Toby is here to admit others. Okay, so the need to like master like this skill to work with the command line like came as a result of the high influx of data in the field of biology. That's through the advent of the genomics and the bioinformatics, like where we now like kind of now have like huge databases like filled with data sets and the like. So and most of these like for us to like kind of take full advantage of them, like most of our graphical user interface tools will not be able to maybe maximize them to like to their fullest potential. So like hence you need to to learn more about how to use the Unix command line to work with those data. So computers that can provide this power, generally use the Unix operating system. So either you're working with your own system or connecting to a server. It's very, very important because it's sort of very efficient to manage all of these data sets that we know. And like I've said before, like most of the bioinformatics tools out there, like are adapted to work on, you know, for Unix. So, and one thing that we need to note, which is like kind of a, should I say, a philosophy for Unix, is that like the way it's designed in such a way that like programs are being written to like do one thing and then to do it well. So which we'll get to see like maybe as we dive into today's class. So for example, now you can have a command that does a particular thing like very well, and it's like kind of sort of usually like that way, like over the years. It's hard to even see like kind of any of them change at all. So like the basic philosophy is like we write a specific program that will do one thing and do it very well. And then to be in such a way that you can also like sort of link them together with other programs, you know, to do whatever task that you have in mind to do. So it encourages, you know, chaining small commands and different tools to, you know, to create sort of flexible pipelines and then do like lots of analysis. So like in short, to avoid wasting much time like on this particular slide, like Unix just helps us to turn like just complex bioinformatics problems into like a system that is sort of manageable in different steps. Yeah. Slide. Okay, so I wouldn't be spending much time here because we did a bit intro on this study. So, but I'll just maybe just give us a maybe just a brief recap on it. So just to distinguish why we choose the command line over the graphical user interface, and then for the first factor here, which is ease. So this is like probably one of the few ones that we consider to key. The graphical user interface stands out because like working with this graphical interface, like it's usually like more sort of more visually intuitive, and users like kind of don't find it difficult. Like you don't need to like learn a lot to be able to work with a graphical user interface. You just need to click on icons and right click and just that to do like all of your analysis or perform all of your tasks. But like when it comes to the command line, like it's not that easy. Like you need to like kind of spend time to learn like some of these commands so that maybe later on like your life will be much more easier. So and that's why like we always say that like the learning curve for, you know, for command line, you know, requires you to remember commands and then syntax and then like many other options to be able to be much more effective like going forward. So let's say for example now you want to delete a file. In the graphical user interface, it's very simple. All you need to do is click on that file, right click, and then you delete. But on the command line interface, you need to like actually master like a specific command that will enable you to maybe to achieve that particular task. Same thing goes for trying to open a file or to install an application. Like for the command line, like you need to like um should I say memorize or master like certain commands that would enable you to do most of those things. And then coming to the aspect of control, um, this is like where the command line starts to take the node ahead of the graphical user interface. So for the for the graphical user interface, like although you can be able to you'll be able to like to be able to perform some tasks when it comes like to certain advanced tasks in bioinformatics, you would get to realize that the command line is like much more it's like kind of much more effective, and not just much more effective, like it gives you like it gives you like sort of this complex or maybe huge toolkits that you can use to do like quite a lot of things, because like while working on the while working on the GUI, like you're only limited by what the developer provides you with. But then in the command line, if you're able to like kind of master like all of those syntax that you need to know, like you'll be way more better than someone that is only dependent on working on the GUI. So let's say for example now you want to let's say you want to copy some FASTQ files from a particular folder into another one. So let's say you want to copy, let's say like you have maybe like a FASTQ file that has like different sorts of naming conventions, and then you want to copy those with a uniform ID into a specific folder. Like on the GUI, we get to realize that it will like sort of take you like a reasonable amount of time to maybe copy, let's say like 1,000 file or 100 file like to another folder. But then like if you're able to master how to work with the CLI, you can find out that all you need to do is just to master one simple command, just a line of command to do that like within seconds without even stressing much. So that's like one aspect of that. So in terms of speed, obviously we'll get to see this like going forward. Like it's not even comparable at all. So is working on the command line is like sort of much more faster and more efficient when compared to working on the GUI. So just like I said, I compared earlier on when it comes to renaming files. So you can imagine the amount of time it would take you to copy or to rename a file, maybe renaming maybe 100 genome files or maybe script files within a folder. So like imagine like the amount of time to take you to that on the GUI compared to when you master a simple command on that's on Unix. So we don't need to really worry about this for now. Like we'll get to see all of these hands-on like as we go forward. Um okay, so another part we have here is scripting, which is very, very important as we'll definitely get to see this like maybe later on in the course, but not like within the week or the next week. So like in the bioinformatics sector, like most of the things we do here like has to do with automation and making stuff that you have to that wouldn't make you to maybe come back later on to write like maybe the same command or the same script. So it's all about like kind of automation. So that's how we build scripts and build pipelines to do like quite a lot of things. So on the GUI, most times you don't need to, like you don't really have a specific way to automate repetitive tasks. But like with the command line, like we are armed with that skill to be able to accomplish all of that. So that brings us to the main stuff we have for today, which is to properly see how um, the Unix shell works. So, like I know I've been saying command line, Unix shell, blah blah blah. So like they are basically like almost the same thing. So when we talk about the Unix shell, like it's just simply like sort of or let me just use the term command line first. So when you hear a command line, just going by looking at the hearing the word alone, command line, it's basically like a place or maybe just a place where you just simply type a command that once you maybe click enter or return on your keyboard, the computer interprets it and then gives you an output. So like for example, like what you can see on the screen now is just another script I took from my system. So this is like what it looks like. That's the command line. So all you need to do here is type in a command and then you press enter and then the computer will now give you an output. So I don't know if you can remember, like I think the Toby teach this. I think so. I think they touched it maybe one way or the other, but like we try to distinguish what a shell is, what a terminal is, and what a kernel is. So like for example, that's what before this class, I know that Abib told us to install some software. I think it's Bash, Ubuntu, and the likes. So, for example, now I'm using my Mac terminal now. So someone else can be using Git Bash or Ubuntu and the likes. So like those are just terminals that enables you to view your shell. So like a shell on its own is, someone has a question. Okay, so a shell on its own is just like a set of programs written to interpret whatever command from the command line. So you type in a command, the shell takes it and then gives it to the kernel to execute, and then the shell will now sort of interpret it and then print it out on your screen terminal. Um, sorry for that. So I repeat again. So like a shell is just like a program that wait for it to type a command, and then once you get that command, it takes it to your kernel, which is like a core part of your operating system that executes that tasks, and then the shell now takes the output and then presents it to you on your terminal. So your terminal, your feedback to your McCoy is terminal. Please, can you mute? Who is that? Joyce Johnson, please, can you mute your mic? So the shell takes whatever outputs the kernel gives and then displays it on your terminal, which is um, on your Git bash or on your Ubuntu or whichever one you are making use of. So that does it. So if you have any question, you can maybe ask it later on as we go on or when we get to that part. So slide. Sorry, my slide is not moving. Okay. So so what does a Unix file system looks like? So just like when you open your computer now, like normally if you open your computer like and look on the maybe it's usually on the left hand side, like you get to see like your home, your downloads, your root and the likes. So normally for every computer system now, like the basic file system starts from a root folder that sprouts into other folders in the system, which is what I'm seeing here on the screen now. So you have your root folder, and then under that root folder contains that's contains like all other folders that you can ever make use of on your computer, down to your home folder, which you can use to create other multiple folders to perform different tasks and do certain projects and the likes. So normally in Unix command line, or once you open your terminal, the first folder that you always see no matter what, as far as you log out and log in, would always be your home folder. This so immediately you open your Git bash today or your Ubuntu or whatever, you always meet your home folder first. Even if you log into maybe a server, each user always land on their home folder before they can go to any other particular place to do any work. And then forgive me for always using folder here. The actual term to use, or should I say the right term to always use when we talk about working on the command line, is directory, not folder. They're actually the same thing, but like for the sake of it, it's directory is like sort of the much more common term to use in this particular case. So please let's take note of that. So like whenever you open your Unix, that's the command line that's on your terminal, like you always meet your home folder first before going to any other place. So something like this now. So like once you log in, that's the first folder you see, and then from there you can create other subdirectories that you need to store specific projects or groups of information. So I think I may still have to come back to this. See this thing that we can see now on my screen maybe later on, but like maybe some people may not know why I'm saying it now, but like at a point in the course you get to understand like why I'm trying to say this. But like while working on the command line, like in as much as you are starting on your home directory, like once you have a project that you need to work on, the first thing you need to have your mind at the back of your mind, first of all, is to always make a new directory for like whatever project you want to do. So not if you want to do something today, you just come on your home directory and then make maybe start creating files or making scripts inside it. So because like at the end of the day, like if you keep doing that, you would end up accumulating maybe hundreds or thousands of different files that will disorganize the whole home directory you get. But then like we'll still come back to this, so don't stress much on it. So we're getting closer to where we need to be, so which is navigating the command line finally. So I know that this might seem strange like some people here, and I know that some people are already familiar with some of these commands that are displayed here on the screen. But then like these are just some of the commands that we'll get to see starting from today and then in the coming weeks. So like these are like just basic commands that has meaning on that's once you type them on the terminal, because like each of them like have different functions that they perform. So like the pwd, the cd, and the rest of them. So for now, there's no need to memorize any of this. I can assure you that. So all we need to do is to just calm down, because it will definitely come naturally to us as far as the practice. At least that one is for sure. as far as the practice, it will naturally come to you. So you don't need to stress much about it. So these are just like some of the basic ones that we need to know now to navigate the command line. So we'll start with some of them now and then I get to do some hands-on. So the first one I would work with, that I would talk about today is the PWD command. So like on a normal, once you find yourself on the command line, like you need to know where you are first of all. So for you to know the particular folder where you are working in, just like on the GUI now, you want to go to your maybe your downloads folder or your documents folder, like you just need to click right away and then you land there. But then on the command line, like this might seem maybe a little bit complex to some people, though, but like the sense I'm trying to make it is just that like we always need to know where we are working on the command line, the particular folder that we're working on. You get so, and the thing to note here is that like for you to do that, you just need to type a simple command called pwd, which stands for print working directory on your terminal. So once you type that command, immediately you would get an output that will display the path to that your particular working directory. So like for example, now what you can see on the screen now is another screenshot from my own terminal. So I typed the pwd command and then it's immediately displayed on the screen where I'm currently at, which is the analysis folder of my parents folder, which is bioinfo UI, that back to my home folder and the likes, blah blah blah. So the first can you guys see my toggling here? So I want to press the pwd. The first folder you see here is where you currently be in, so which is the analysis folder. So that is just basically that, nothing to stress about so much. So we'll also get to practice this as we go forward. The second one, so I hope this makes sense. If you have any question, I think this is the right time for you to maybe call me to pause and then you can ask it. So while I wait for that, so another one that we have here on the list is the mkdir command, which is a command that you can use to make a directory. So initially we wanted to know where we were, right, which is the analysis folder. But then at this particular point, we want to create a new folder within the particular one that we're working in, which is the analysis folder. So like for this particular kind of task, whenever you want to make a new directory for your project or any form of analysis you want to do on the command line, this is your go-to command to do that right away. The make directory command. So once you press please can you hear me? So once you type this command and then the next thing you have to do is to specify the actual name you want to give that particular directory that you want to make. So in this particular case that is on my screen now, we want to make a directory called module 2. So all you need to do is type the command and then go on to specify whatever thing you want to name that particular folder, as simple as that. So once I type mkdir and then specify that I want to name that particular directory module 2, all I have to do is all I have to do next is to just press enter on my keyboard and then that directory will be made. So we'll get to see this shortly as well. So once I do that, and then I would want to know if I've really made that or let me just go on first. Maybe I think the next command should show us what I'm trying to say. So now I've made another directory called module 2, but still we have to confirm if it actually exists. So sorry. Okay, so this brings us to our next command on the list, which is the cd command. So remember, we made a directory called module 2, but then we were not sure like if it's actually been made. So like to confirm or to make another directory within that's in the command line, all we need to do is to we'll still get another command called list, but for now what I had in mind while writing this is to show us how we can actually move into that directory that we made. The same way you go to your download folder on your GUI and then move into other folders within that download folder. Just that same way, we've made a folder called module 2. And now I want to move into that folder now. So all you need to do is to type the command cd, as simple as that, and then specify the name of that particular folder that you want to move in. And once you do that, you'll be inside there like immediately. You get, so I've made a directory, I've cd'd into it, and then I'm inside it now. So how do I now confirm if I'm now inside that directory? Go back to the first command that we introduced, which is the pwd command. So all we need to do now is just to simply press pwd module pwd, just pwd alone, and then we press enter. So once we do that, then that will now give us something to confirm that okay, we are now inside module 2. Okay, so which is this? So once you press pwd again, the initial command that we introduced, we'll get to see the current working directory, which is now the module 2 working directory. So I hope that makes sense. So another thing to note, there's an option that we can use maybe whenever we're working on the command line. So like I said before, once you start working on the command line, like the first, or once you log into your terminal, rather, the first place to find yourself would be in the home folder, right? So now, let's say you now start moving around or maybe going anywhere you want to go on the terminal, and at the end of the day, you want to maybe return back to your home directory. So that like it's been made in a way that is a simple symbol that once you type it along with the cd command to directly tell you to directly take you back to your home directory. So once you press this sign that you're seeing here now, this is called tilde, tilde. So like it specifies the path to your home directory. That's whenever you say, okay, change the directory to tilde, that's change cd tilde and press enter like on your terminal, like it simply takes you back to your home directory. As simple as that. So for example, now this is the part that we were in on the previous slide you get. So we made a directory called module 2 and then moved into it, and now we want to go back to our home directory. So all we need to do is type the command cd and then specify the tilde sign. So once you press enter, you immediately go back to your home directory. As simple as that. So that's that's it. That's just it about now. So this is just a demo of what I'm trying to explain now. So initially we moved into the module 2 directory, confirmed it, and then now I want to go back into the home directory, which is the Mac specified there. That's with the icons and all. So once I now press that cd tilde, and now I want to confirm if I've eventually moved back into my home directory, all I need to do is to press that pwd command again, type it, and then click enter or return on your keyboard to confirm if you are now back to your home directory. So as you can see, that is on the screen here, being done already. So the pwd command, mkdir command, and then the cd command, we've been able to see like kind of how they all function like for now. So we still have more to unpack. So another option that you can also use with the cd command among the many others is the dot option. So apart from cd tilde, like we also have this other one which tells the computer to move you back to the to the directory, like to a directory directly above the current one that you are in. So let's say for example now you are in module 2 and you want to move back to analysis. That's the analysis folder. Like all you need to do is simply press cd dot dot. Once you do that and press and want to check where you are currently at with maybe the pwd, you would find out that you'll be in the analysis folder. So the same way that we are currently in our Mac folder, that's the home directory now. Let's say we want to move backward to the user's directory. All we need to do is to just press cd dot dot again, and then once check with our pwd command, we'll get to see that that will now be in the user's directory like next. So which is this? So once I press cd dot dot on the Mac folder, which is our home directory, and then check it with pwd, you get to see that we've already moved back to the users folder. So we'll get to like going forward, we'll get to see like how we can maybe upgrade some of these commands to even do like more interesting stuff. But like for now, let's just stick with the basics for now and then get to understand it first. Um, so the next command that we have here is the list command. So like what like it's like definitely now like once you get into a particular folder, like it makes sense for you to know what you have inside that particular folder, right? So there's a special command for that, which is the list command that's and the code is ls. So once you type ls anywhere on your terminal, it will simply display all the files of that's all the files within that particular directory that you're working with. So let's say for example now I'm in a directory called bioinfo. I want to know all the files that I've stored or downloaded or copied into that particular directory. All I need to do is to press or type the ls command and then press enter. And then I'll get to see all the files I have inside there. Okay. So before we move into practice, I know that that's the most important part for now, maybe for most people. Do we have any question that we may need to go back to before we go ahead? So if you have any for now, you can simply unmute, then ask before I go over to the terminal to give a demo of some of these commands. Okay, so do we all understand? If you understand, you can give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. So let's just do a quick demo, starting with the pwd command. Okay, and so like if you also have if you've installed your git bash or you're going to by the if you've installed it already by now, you can also get to practice this like while I do mine as well. So to make more sense. Or you can choose to do it later anyways. Yeah. So this is my terminal now. Like I'm in somewhere I don't know now, and then I want to confirm that's where I'm currently at. So this is where the pwd command comes into play. So once I press or type pwd rather here and then click enter, I'll get to see my current working directory. So pwd enter. It tells me that I'm in the module 2. Any question? Okay. So once I type the pwd command like it basically prints out the path to the directory I'm currently inside, which is the module 2 directory. So that is it about that. So the next one that I would want to try out is the make directory command. That's the mkdir. So let's say we want to make a directory called Unix day one. That's for this particular class now. So I'll just simply type the mkdir command and then name the new directory Unix underscore day one. And once I press enter, that directory will be created just like that. So, and if I want to move into that directory, you can already guess the particular command that we need to use to try that out, which is the cd command. So if I say cd Unix day one, I will be inside there. So once I press enter, I will be inside the Unix day one directory to do anything that the Unix day one maybe class. Maybe if I want to maybe create more files or to create more folders or maybe do any other kind of stuff, I can do it inside the day one the Unix day one folder. So that is that. And just like I said before, like if you now want to confirm if we are now actually inside that Unix day one folder, all I need to do is to press the pwd command again to confirm that. So once I write that and then click enter, I'll see the file path telling me that okay, I've now moved from the module 2 directory into the Unix the one directory. So nevertheless, don't mind my terminal, the way I customized it, because we can already see hints by the side telling us like where we are currently inside. And that was because I customized it. So like maybe for you guys now that I used to customize yours, you won't be able to see like most of these things. Maybe that's by the side. Say the way I've customized mine to be. But then you can always do that like maybe later on. So but like just have it as just have it at the back of your mind um, what all of these commands are able to do. That's the PWD, the mkdir, and then the cd. And then the next one that we're going to talk about now, which is the ls command. So if I now want to list, it's okay. So if I now want to list, because I'm missing out something. Okay, we're here to test the cd tilde command, which is to move, which is to move back to our home directory. So if I now want to move back to the home directory, which was the parent, the first one that we encountered when we open the terminal. All we need to do is to type what we showed ourselves earlier on, the cd tilde sign. So this sign is usually like on the top left of most keyboards, so you can find it there, or maybe wherever it is on your own keyboard. So once you type the cd tilde command and then press enter on your keyboard, you'll be automatically moved back to your home folder, which is for me Mac. That's for me in particular. Mac is my current is my home directory. So once I check it with pwd now, I'm back there. So you can even see here, say from the icon, from the customization, I'm back to my home directory. You get, so that is that. And then for the other option that we have, the cd dot dots command. That's to go like kind of another like a directory above the current working directory. Once I type that cd dot dots, I would go back. I would be moved back into the users directory. That's before the home directory. So once I press enter now, I move back to the users folder. So you get, so that's just basically that. So like anywhere you are, like if I want to move back, let's say I was still at the Unix day one folder, and I want to move back to module 2, all I need to do is to press cd dot dot and then I'm back there. So like for now, this might seem like maybe a little bit easy for some of us. I can do this on my graphical design table, but like as we go on, maybe as we go deeper into the course, to do like maybe more complex stuff, like you get to see like why it's easy to master like some of these basic commands. They might like appear very basic at the beginning, but like as we move on, like we get to see like how even most of this can be combined to even do more wonderful and interesting stuff. So that is it for now. So let's I'm tempted to use a command I'm not meant to use today, but like let me just see with what we've done so far. So like let's just move directly to the ls command that we mentioned earlier, which is a command that you can use to list all the files or directories you have in a particular folder. So if I now that's directory, let me confirm again. So we are currently inside the user directory, right? So if I now want to list all the directories we have inside there, all I need to do is to just type ls, which stands for list. So once I press enter on my keyboard, I would see all I have inside there. So I only have two stuff here, my Mac directory and then my shared. So this my home directory like is what contains like majority of what I have on my system. You get, so let me cd back into my home directory and then try that ls command again to see what we have. So cd tilde, I'm back to my home directory, pwd, I'm back to my home. So if I now want to see all the files I have in my home directory, all I need to do is to press ls and then enter. And it lists all the files I have in my home directory. So that's basically that. Um, okay. So I think that's that for now for the practice for what we've on what we've done so far. So any questions from anybody, or we should go ahead? Okay. Okay. So apart from what we've done, like for now with the ls command, which is to simply list all of the things we have in our working directory. Like we can also like combine the ls command with like other stuff that we call options. So ls and even several other command line, that's several other commands that would come across as we go forward, also have like different options that once we press them or maybe tie them together with that particular command, they get to accomplish a different kind of output. Okay, so like for example now, if I should combine the ls command um with the -l option, like I would see something different from what we've seen so far. So like when I typed ls here, I saw something like this. But then if I now want to see maybe a long list of just all the files I have, like without it being demarcated into different sections, all I need to do is type ls-l and then press enter. And then I would have just each file along with other information about that particular file. As you can see here, like only the file names and directory names are listed. But then if I now type ls-l, I get to see not just the names of those files and directories, but then other information about them, such as file permissions and the likes, the time they were, maybe the last modification dates, when they were added, and then their file size. So that is what ls-l does for us. So we can also decide to even sort what we have on that particular folder or directory based on the time that they were added. That's starting from the newest file first down to the oldest. All we need to do is to type ls-t. So unlike what we've seen so far now, based on the time added, like it's sort of shuffled over here, but like if I could like press enter here, I would get to see a more. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'll still get to this later on. So like if I should press ls-t, like it is rest assured that all of this stuff are now arranged based on when they were added.
You can
That's
do
from
LT.
yeah. Like I'll still get to that on the next slide. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like based on what Toby said, and like as we go on, we'll still get to see that we can also combine some of these options that we have on the table here. But then, general knowledge, if I just want to list all my files based on when they were added, from the newest one to the oldest one, you just need to press ls-t, and then we'll get to see that. And then, if you want to see the list of all those files in a more human readable format, like what we have here now, when we listed this particular uh, folder now, it will be hard to distinguish which of these numbers represents the file size. But then if we should type ls-h here, maybe along with the long list option here, the first one that we saw here now, we would see something like a depiction of the actual file size, maybe in kilobytes, in megabytes, or in gigabytes. That's for all of the files that we have down there. So ls-h, they will now be arranged. Okay. So now display them by their file size that's going forward. So if I should now maybe combine ls, that's the -l command rather option with the h. Instead of seeing just the values here, I would be able to see the actual file the actual sizes of all of those files I have in that particular directory. And then for okay, for example, now we can now see them in kilobytes, in bytes, and then in megabytes. So the K stands for kilobyte, the B stands for bytes, while the M stands for megabytes, and so on and so forth. So if I want to list them in the reverse order, that's as opposed to okay. Yeah, so if I just want to like list them in the reverse order, like the same way I listed them here now, if I want to list them on the reverse order, all I need to do is to press ls minus minus r, and then it will be listed in the reverse order. You see that's alphabetically still. So from the last to the first. So ls minus r does that for you. And then if I want to sort the order of listing by file size, all I need to do is to press ls minus capital S, and then it does that for me as well, and so on and so forth. So um actually we don't need to really memorize most of this for now. So it's all about practice. So like as you get to practice all of this, like you get to um maybe it will become natural, it will come naturally to you without even much stress or anything. So that's basically that. So let me list this in a proper order, to actually see the file sizes. So I'll add the long list option along with the capital S. So if you can see now, it's now listing it based on the file size from the largest file or directory down to the smallest. So that's basically that. So we can also go ahead. I don't want to be ahead of maybe what I have on the next slide, but let me just do it short. So if I also want to actually see the files, the actual file size, maybe like to know the ones that are in kilobytes or in megabytes and the likes, I can also add um the H option to what I had initially. Initially, I had just ls-ls. But if I now add H, then I'll now be able to see them. That's in megabytes, kilobytes, down to bytes, and so on and so forth. And that's basically that. So we've already done all the practicing, so no need to go back again. But if you have any questions or concern, can you can raise them. Okay. Or okay, maybe I should just ask questions at this particular point. So so if I should press ls minus lh, what should we expect to be displayed on the terminal? Can someone help me answer that? Just unmute and answer to know if we understand. I know we have Expo here already, but then it still works. Yeah, who wants to speak? If I should type ls minus
Display
lh
size
now,
kilobytes, megabytes, and gigabytes.
it
It will display sizes in kilobytes, gigabytes, and kilobytes and megabytes rather.
will. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that works. Thank you very much. That's Bill, right? Abdul Hakim. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. So what about LT?
Okay,
Who else can try that?
for LT, it gives us a long list first and then sorts the list by time as well.
Okay. That's from ascending or descending order.
And from the newest first.
Okay, the expo is already there. Don't mind me. Okay, thank you, Victor. So what about when I combine LT and R? What should I expect to see on the terminal? Who else can try? You can go ahead. Anybody raising up their hand?
It gives
Okay, that's
us a
that.
long list, sort by time in reverse order.
Okay, now it's correct. That's a long list sorted by time in the reverse order. Okay, so that's correct. So you can also practice this like on your own terminal. Like I know I assume you've all installed your terminals and the likes by now. So you can also practice this after the class. So what about LHS? Who wants to go? I know it seems very easy. I'm not begging you guys to now come and answer questions. Okay.
You call them by names. I can help you call names. I can help you call names.
Maybe it's too easy for them. That's all.
I have a name under my radar already. But if you want me to keep quiet, let them talk.
Yeah. Now I just want to assume that it's too easy for them at this point, but then we'll see as we go on in the coming weeks. Okay. You can call Tobio.
I want to call Esther Ajao. Esther Ajao, are you here? LHS. Yes, you are here. Thank you. Answer. LHS now on mute. LHS now.
Okay, let me
We have the answer on the screen though.
let
Literally.
me just okay.
Okay.
Am I nominated? Am I okay?
Apollo, I want to help you. Oh yeah, Apollo, answer please.
Okay. Long list or long format with human readable size and then sorted by size.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Just responding now. Next person, LHSR. I have a name under my radar. Should I call it name?
Yeah.
Kehinde Adeniji. LHR, LHSR. I want you to help me with my answer, please. Kehinde Adeniji is not talking again. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry, can you call it again? Sorry.
Yeah. LSHR. What would you get if you press list with the options LSHR?
So you have a human readable list in the reverse order.
Okay. Is that all? You didn't finish it, or there are two options you are leaving on the table.
Okay, a long human readable list in the reverse order.
What are you reversing?
You said LS, then HR, right?
LSHR, yes. You said long list,
Yeah.
human readable in reverse order. What are you reversing?
The size. Sorry.
Exactly. That's what I wanted you to say. Thank you. So, Tojuku, up to you. Do you have another question for anybody?
Okay. So okay, I think that's so he said reversing by size.
For the LHSR, the last one you just typed.
Okay.
Yes, you can see it's from the 0 bytes down. Before it was supposed to be from the biggest bytes to the lowest. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so that's basically that. So the final one that I want to talk about for today, I guess. I don't want us to do much for today for now. That's in this regard. Is the man command. So like for every command we have that's in Linux programming, there's always a manual for each command. So like I think that's like why I even like Linux very much. So like any command that you can ever come across, you can always get to learn like everything they can actually do just by simply typing like this particular command, which is the man command on your terminal. So for example, now if I want to find out all the possible things that the ls command can do by combining it with many other options, all I need to do is to just type man ls, and then I would get like kind of a manual that's showed me a lot of things. So let me just show us that doing them. So if I should type man ls here and press enter, I would be exposed to a manual that will show me like kind of all of the options that you can also combine with the ls to do different kind of stuff. So like for example now, if I should search for like the ones we've tested so far now, like the hyphen capital S now to sort size, right? We also have hyphen T, hyphen U, hyphen W, and so on and so forth. Many other stuff that we can combine with the ls command. So like the same thing goes for like all of that commands we have out there. So once you type man ls, would get to see like all of that things that we can do with that particular command, and then so this is like kind of a place you can come to maybe learn more and then find out about more things you can do with that particular command. So at least we like kind of come in very handy as we even dive deeper into more advanced commands that we can work with as we go on. So that's basically that. So this is it on my screen already. And a tip for today and then maybe for as we go on. Okay, that's a question. Okay, Adola, you can go on. Adeola, please go on.
Okay, I tried to use the man ls command just now and it's not working on git bash.
On git bash. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you try on git bash? Okay. Can you try help? So there's another command I can also use. I think that's help, right? Can you type help ls or something?
Yeah, F4.
It's worked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes that also works. If the man command doesn't work. I don't know if it's work on my own. I barely use that. Help. Okay. No. I don't have. It's not working on my own. So like you've seen, I can also like try the help command to also list as what the ls what any command can do. Yeah, going forward. So like this, I'll just what I have here, like I just tips of what you can do to make your life easier while working on the terminal. So the first one here is to make use of the up and down arrows to see the commands that you've worked with. Maybe to, let's say you want to repeat, instead of having to type out a particular command again, you can always use your up and down arrow to check the ones you've typed previously. So let's say, for example, if I should press my up arrow now, what I'm going to see is help ls. This is help ls. If I press up arrow again, I'll see the man ls down to the first one I even typed. So if I keep using the up and down arrow, I'll get to see, or maybe to get to select like any particular command I've used before that I might want to use again to do, or to even edit them to do other stuff. So if I press down, I'll keep going down, get the down arrow down to help ls, and then the current state. So and then we also have the option to always use our tab key to auto-complete tasks, or to auto-complete a command that we might want to write. So let's say, for example, now we're currently in our home directory, right? Let's say, for example, now we want to move into desktop directory, or maybe even downloads or desktop. So if I should say the right command to do that should be cd, right? So if I should say cd into download, instead of having to type in, like my terminal is already even predicting because of my the stuff I installed, or like what I installed is already showing me that I want to go to that might want to go to the download folder or directory rather. But then as far as I have the name of whatever folder or directory I want to head into, all I need to do is type cd and then the first few letters of that particular folder, and then press my tab key. And then it would auto-complete without me having to type out everything down to the end. So if I should press ls, I will be inside my downloads folder. So cd dots back to where I was previously. If I want to move to my maybe E. coli folder here, Escherichia coli, once I type cd es, or even e alone self, if I type e alone and press tab, I would see a list of all of that, maybe some other folders that starts with C until I'm able to maybe narrow it down to where I actually want to be. So if I should say ES, that should be only E. coli. It will predict only E. coli, and then once I get enter, I'll be inside my E. coli folder. Gets good. CD dots. Yeah. So I'm now back to my home directory. And then also, as we go on, maybe this might not be helpful for today, but then as we go on, and let's say you run a command and then it gets stuck and stops running, or maybe something happens and then you want to maybe terminate that process, all you need to do is to press Control Z. In some cases, Control C can also work. So either of those ones can go. So I don't know if there's anything I can do now to, I don't have any. Maybe if I'm running a script or something. Yeah, Esther, you can go ahead with your question. Esther, you can go ahead.
So she's not in a place she can ask question verbally, but she typed, is there a particular order that the questions that the orders have to follow?
Is there a particular
order that the orders that the options have to follow?
No, you can shuffle them around.
Exactly.
You can shuffle them. So whichever
So
way.
you can use RSHL whatever way to see them work.
So iPhone, maybe IL LSHR, right? That was what we did. If I should still type maybe SLRH, I'll still get the same thing. So irrespective, you can shuffle them around. So that's why life is easier, like while working on the command line sometimes, because some things you don't really need to memorize, like most things. They'll just come naturally to you as far as you practice. Yeah. So I think that's about that for what I have for today. So tomorrow we should be I should round up my remaining parts on what I have for the introduction before your scheduler comes in to take his parts. So for now, if you have any question, you can ask. And yeah. No questions from anybody.
I want to actually ask them a question. Looks like everybody is just, I think they are scared of the test too. I don't know.
Wait, so I want to understand something. Like, I don't know, like, are we finding this like, is it understandable at all or difficult? I don't know.
It's understandable
Okay.
to me.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Please go ahead with your questions. Okay, Adela, you can go first.
Adela Ibrogba, you can ask a question.
Okay, my question is that do we have to save any of these things, or it is already saved as we are working and we can access it at any time?
Okay,
The
you
command,
mean the commands you've typed? You mean the
Sorry, my
commands
network is
you've
bad.
typed?
What did you say? Yes, the command we
she's
typed.
asking,
The command you've typed. Okay, yeah, like there's actually a particular command that you can use to view what you've typed previously. So you don't need to start typing, or maybe to start writing all the commands you've written or maybe on your notes. So once you type a command called history, to show you like all the commands you've made use of recently. So like all we can see here, these are like the last command, the last few commands that were run for the day.
so
Yeah,
my
so
own question,
you don't really need to
does the history take before it goes away?
how
How long do you have the history for?
The history can how I've not really tested that, but from what I'm seeing here for this particular tab, these are commands I know around some time last year. I ran this command around probably October of last year or thereabouts. So yeah.
All right.
But then,
That's
like, as we go on, apart from like maybe even trying to know this, like as we go on, when we maybe enter into scripting, like to know the advantage of kind of writing a script to automate like different tasks. Like we get to see like how we can also save some commands or lines of commands like inside a script that we can always access as a document whenever we want to work with them. But for now, like what we've done today are just like sort of basic commands that we just need to use to move around our different folders that's on the command line. Just like clicking up and down, like nothing special. So they're just like kind of basically commands you need to move around all the files and folders that you have. But then as you go on, whenever you need a command that would do something special or something that might be repetitive, then at that point, it would be nice to save it inside the script for automation. And then you can always pull them out. It's always inside the documents that you can access later on, or a script, in other words.
To just to add to that, I mean, there are times when you you might not see the command that you've run. Probably, you run it for a very long time. So what you can just do is probably you can combine the history command, then use a pipe, then grep. You can grep just to give like.
Okay.
For example, first history and then ls. So you're just going to like return. Probably the ls command, any kind of command that starts ls.
So grep ls, right?
Grep ls, yes. Yeah, that's what you say.
Yeah. But for now, don't be scared by grep. We'll do it.
Hey, maybe we know they go above board for these people yet. So
we'll do I'm tired. It's not hard though. Don't mind Toby that is laughing.
I'm not hard. It's not hard. But me, I have questions for them. Actually, I think everybody is sleeping, so let everybody wake up.
I think someone else has a question before that.
Okay. Please ask your question.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you clearly.
We can.
Okay. My question is, I was just wondering, when I tried the LS, all of the LSs like the LSLC, LS manager, my own did not bring out a long view, and I'm wondering, is it because I don't have plenty documents on my system, or what could be wrong?
Okay, when you said when you typed the ls minus l, you didn't see anything.
No, I saw something.
Okay, I think I know why.
Like
okay.
And that
maybe we're not
answer.
Sorry, when I also typed it turned out I was in a folder, a directory I created. So like there was nothing to really list. So I had to go back to the home directory, and then there was like something to list. Maybe that's what happened.
Yes, you're right.
So how can I get home directory?
Home directory is cd
tilde.
cd tilde. And then you can ls from your home directory.
Okay. So I think
do we have time for my own questions?
Sure, we have.
Good. Let me go to your finder. Everybody should have their eyes open.
To my finder?
Yes, your finder. Open just a random folder, maybe go to your downloads, so maybe your Mac, any folder that you're comfortable showing to everybody. Exactly. Good. If I ls into a file and I want a list like this from my terminal, what command will I press? I want anybody to answer me. Victor Chegozi.
I
LS.
think
I
LSTR. Sorry,
no.
LSLT.
I want a long list like this. What will I press? LS-L alone is what I need now.
Yeah. No, the time as well now.
LSL.
No,
LSL.
in,
Thank you. With the T, you're actually right. With the time.
LSLT.
Thank you. All right. Tochi, click on the size. That size button. Good. So another person, if I want to sort by size.
LS hyphen LS. Oh,
LS hyphen.
Hyphen S.
Yeah. LS hyphen LTS actually. Because that you first. You remember? You want the long list.
Oh,
Do you hear
yes,
me? Did you get
yes,
it?
yes, yes.
You want the long list that is sorted, that has time inside of it, but also sorted by what size? Right? Right? All right. Now, touch the time. My guy, date added. Now I've sorted by date added. If I want to sort this by date added on my terminal, how do we do this? Anybody? All right. Touch that time again. Or date added. Date added. Good. I have done it in. Oh no, touch it again, please. I want you to go in reverse in order. You didn't go in reverse in order. All right. By the way, that's.
Oh.
Click on it again. Hold on. Okay, it's the way you have done it, and but it's the limitation of by the way. So that's what Abib just wrote in the command line and in the chat. Is limitation of the GUI. And because you were doing yesterday, that thing you had it on the side yesterday, because on my own, I don't have that position by yesterday, previous 7 days and all the likes. But Shasha, who can tell me the command I will press on my command line if I want to reverse it by time? Adiola Ibirogba, thank you, please.
That will be LS hyphen LTR.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. So that's what I want you to see. What I'm trying to bring out in you is whatever you can see done on the GUI, most of the time you can replicate on the command line, right? And what we have seen here, Tochi has been showing us on the command line. If you want it in this format, if you press LS alone without the options you have, right, you are going to get just a list and you'll be bored. In fact, you'll be tired because it is just going to be mumbled together. But if you know the hack of using options, if you wanted a list like this, you want to put -L. Good, I have seen my list. Okay, I remember something I could do on GUI. I can sort it by size. Okay, that's -L S. Size will come out. And of course, I want it in human readable. By the way, all of you forgot to put H because you are supposed to put human readable formats there. None of you put that inside of it, but I'll forgive you. So I want it in, because if you don't put H, you won't have this 1.8 MB, 268 kilobyte, 268 kilobyte, 2.7 megabyte, all those things. You won't find them. But we can find them because we can put the H on our command, right? That's if you know what to use in your command. So the whole idea of me telling you is anything you can see done on the graphical user interface, you can most likely mimic it on the command line. And that's what we'll be doing going forward. Thank you, Tochi. That's what I wanted to do. You can go back to your slide.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Toby. So any other questions from anybody? Okay, everybody's ready for Abib and his test. So Abib,
Test time.
yeah, but I think it's not something that difficult. Sure. Everybody will pass since everybody understood and nobody's asking questions.
Now I go know the person with the sleep.
So we have 15 questions.
15
Then
questions.
I don't know how many minutes we should allocate for that. They are straightforward questions actually.
I did my driving license test today. I did 30 questions in 30 minutes. So all of them are going to do 15 questions in 15 minutes.
Actually, I think 5 minutes should be okay.
Oh, good. You're even better than myself.
5 or 7 minutes. Okay, let me reset the time.
Make Victor's zone 1 minute.
Actually, because they disturb us.
Today, okay, this is 1721. So, okay, let me just make it 5.
Screenshot. Yes.
5:30.
It's checking out.
5:31. So by 5:31, everybody should stop.
Okay. So you can drop the link. Is it here on? You can drop on.
No, I'm dropping the link already. So this is the link to the test.
The link has been dropped in the chat. Everybody go and start your test now.
Just share your score on the group.
Yeah.
And if you don't share it, I can share it. Share it yourself.
If you don't share them yourself, we go share them for you.
I'll start recording now.